Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm Matt Lieb.
I'm Daniel Mate.
And we are here doing a pre-roll bumper for this episode of Bad Has Bara.
Sort of a cold open, except it's not, because we're already talking about there's no mystery to it.
There's nothing cold about it. You clicked on it, and you're getting something that you expected. But we want to let you know that this is a excerpt from our episode with Sana Saeed. Is it Saeed? Fuck.
Saeed. It's like somewhere in between.
It's somewhere in between. And as you know, I can't do pronunciations correctly, but Sana is someone who I worked with at AJ Plus, also somebody who is a previous former guest of ours. It was a really fun episode, the full episode available on Patreon, but we liked it so much that we decided to give you a much longer version of it.
Everyone needs to see a healthy chunk of this episode. It was truly, really great. It
was really, really good, and we just, sometimes we really regret having Patreon exclusive episodes because we want everyone to be able to enjoy our yummy slop.
Because we're bad businessmen over here at Bad Has Bara.
That's right.
The episode we started with a lengthy, like close to hour-long kind of overview of the diplomatic ins and outs, and really Sana's perspective helped us kind of take a clearer view, I think, of things to be impressed by or hopeful for, which is very, very tiny, and things to not get sucked in by in terms of, Trump breaking with Netanyahu and all that stuff, which we talked about in this week's main episode. But this conversation was much more robust. And then we moved on to talking about the recent happenings at NYU with them suspending the diploma of a brave young student who used his commencement speech to speak some obvious truths. And when we ended with a segment about Ben Cohen from Ben & Jerry's and his Menchie activism, interrupting RFK and doing all kinds of stuff in Washington, D.C. that makes him a rare
business hero
and 100 millionaire with a conscience.
And it's truly a really fantastic episode, and we didn't want to deprive people who weren't patrons from at least hearing some of it. So here for you now is an excerpt from that episode, and if you want the full thing, it is available right now on Patreon, patreon.com/badhasbara. If you join the Patreon, you get a weekly bonus episode. And you also get all Bad Has Bara episodes as soon as they're edited, which is usually 1 or 2 days early before they broadcast on YouTube and the podcast app.
And sometimes the Patreon episodes end up being longer. Like this one was it was 2 hours almost.
2 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so you're really joining the Patreon. There's a lot of benefits if you enjoy listening to this podcast. If you don't enjoy listening to this podcast, then keep doing what you're doing.
And the reason we're going so hard at this sales pitch now, we're doing the hard sell, is because there's actually a sales contest that producer Adam announced this month at Bad Has Bara. First prize is a Cadillac. Second prize is you're fired.
That's right. And we're always trying to be closing. So we're going to see which one of us gets a Cadillac and which one of us gets fired.
We ran out of steak knives, exactly.
Yeah, and one of us has the brass balls that we carry. These are all Glenn Ross references, which we do not make in the episode if this is already turning you off from joining the Patreon. So please join patreon.com/badhasbara and enjoy this excerpt from our episode with Sana Saeed and have fun.
Bye.
We need to talk about a very important school. It's in New York, and in fact, it is the University of New York, known as New York University. Have you ever heard of it? It's called NYU. And Daniel, you went to NYU.
I did. I got a grad degree from NYU.
Wow.
I entered NYU 20 years ago this September for musical theater writing. NYU is also the punchline to one of these jokes that depends on its length. Like you tell the joke for 20 minutes and it's in the telling of it, and then there's just a really corny punchline that kind of you laugh because you're defeated because you've been listening for so long. So there's a lengthy joke I heard once about a Jewish immigrant who starts in the old country, the shtetl, and leaves his mama land, his papa land, and moves to New York and moves to the Lower East Side and the tenements, and he works his way up and so on and so forth, and he invests and whatever, and then they decide to name a school after him because he's done so much good work in the community, and he goes to tell his mama that this has happened, and she looks at him and she says, "And why you? And why you?
I like it. And why you?
And why you?"
That's great. You went to NYU, and there was recently there was a graduation ceremony by the NYU Gallatin School.
Yeah.
Which I assume there's just different names of schools.
Yeah, I went to Tisch. Gallatin is closely affiliated. They have like the music production program, I think, engineering.
Yeah. So Gallatin had a commencement speaker named Logan Rozos, and he gave this speech. What did you chuckle because did I pronounce the name wrong?
No, you didn't. I chuckled because just remember we're talking before. This is why we had Succession on our minds, because if you were to
Logan Roy,
the student who came up just before him, because it's ROZOS, was Logan Roy,
yes,
whose commencement speech was just "fuck off,
oink for your sausages." But
I hated that episode. That scene.
I love that. I think I've never related more to a character. I was like,
than who, Greg? Or
no, than Logan. When I was like, yeah, it me when I upload a new episode to Patreon.
Go on, it's a game. It's fun.
It's fun. So Logan Rozos is someone who graduated from Gallatin, gave this commencement speech, and I'm going to play it right now. For those of you who haven't seen it, obviously it's been making its round, so many of you have. But just in case you haven't, here is his speech.
Moral and political commitments guide me to say that the only thing that is appropriate to say in this time and to a group this large is a recognition of the atrocities currently happening in Palestine. The genocide currently occurring is supported politically and militarily by the United States, is paid for by our tax dollars, and has been live streamed to our phones for the past 18 months. And that I do not wish to speak only to my own politics today, but to speak for all people of conscience, all people who feel the moral injury of this atrocity. And I
just to clarify also what you're hearing too, in the background there, you are hearing cheers, but also jeers and boos from other family and whatnot who are there, who are vocally, letting it be known that they are against what is being said right now. And if your ears are open, you'll notice what is being said right now is a condemnation of genocide.
And of American complicity.
And American complicity in that genocide.
One of the things I love about this clip is watching his demeanor move from such nervousness before he says it. Like you could feel it also in Bassel Adra's Oscar speech. It wasn't there in Yuval Abraham's because of their different levels of comfort and their different levels of privilege and all that kind of stuff.
Yes. Most importantly,
but here unlike Bassel, you have someone who speaks fluent English, but he's stuttering a bit or he's hesitant, and then as he says it and the jeers start, you can feel his courage pick up.
Yes, and the jeers start, and it just makes Logan more firm in what he's saying, and also it makes it more powerful what he's saying. And I think it's really important to point out what was happening in the audience of that speech because of the way that people have reacted to it since,
including the school.
And the reaction to it, has been obviously from the Zionist side, pure rage and anger. We had Lizzy Sevetski is back, friend of the pod.
Lizzo Sevetsko.
Yeah, Lizzo Sevetsko, former almost housewife of New Jersey, I believe, who ended up quitting the show because she accused everyone of anti-Semitism, but really it had something to do with matchmaking. Lizzy went on to make a little video saying how mad she was, especially since Lizzy herself has already had someone canceled from NYU and spoken directly to the dean, who said they would never cross her again. And here is
The
that
genocide
video.
currently occurring is supported politically and militarily by the United States.
I don't need to explain to you why this is messed up. You know.
I love that. I don't need to explain to you why this is messed up. If you follow me, you know I'm a piece of shit. You already know.
I do need to say, I had the best years of my life at Gallatin. Last year I made a video calling out Gallatin because there was a professor that they had on staff who spoke openly about his participation in the Intifada, throwing Molotov cocktails. Never understood why he was...
I'm sorry. I love that. You had a professor? There was a professor at NYU who participated in the Intifada. I love the idea of that. To her, participating in the Intifada is when you, fly over to Palestine and are like, I'm going to do Molotov cocktails, as opposed to being someone who lives in occupied apartheid Israel and is in Palestine, and there is an organic uprising that happened. That is like such...
And you're at the receiving end of the collective punishment that ensues therefrom.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. But of course, participating in the Intifada sounds a lot more, optional. You know what I mean?
It's like the guy who asked me if my dad was involved in the Holocaust.
Was he involved in the Holocaust? Your dad?
Yeah, he was heavily involved.
He's a Holocaust survivor.
He's a Holocaust involvee.
Yeah. It sounds worse when you say it this way, Lizzy, and I think you know that.
Hired in the first place. It was only after all the information came out and there was an uproar that they said he's no longer employed here. I was then brought in.
An uproaring.
Yeah, which you were the uproar. And she openly admits that. And then
by the Dean of Gallatin, Victoria Rosner, who asked me if we could have an off-the-record conversation. We sat around a table. We had a very open and honest discussion. I broke down in tears. I felt like there was a sense of trust there, a sense of understanding, not allowing something like this to happen. And here we are.
You
Dean
promised
Rosner,
me.
Yeah, straight up. She's about to say...
I trusted you.
She's literally about to say what you're joking she's going to say.
To reach out to you if there was an issue. I don't think you're going to be surprised that I take issue with this.
Oh my God.
She literally talks about, she's like, I feel betrayed by the teacher that I snitched to. These Zionists are such proud snitches. It's like, it is wild to me. I've never seen people who are so proud of the fact that they're like, teacher? Someone's in trouble. Like, these are the most disgusting snitches. Oh my God.
I had not seen that video, so I'm just like,
yeah, no, it's a lot. And of course, Lizzy and all of the other Zionist uproarers got what they wanted. This is the statement that was released by the NYU Gallatin spokesman, who said, quote, NYU strongly denounces the choice by a student at the Gallatin School's graduation day, one of over 20 school graduation ceremonies across our campus, to misuse his role as student speaker to express his personal and one-sided political views.
I have a question.
Yes.
What's the other side?
The other side is nuh-uh. Is the other side.
If he'd said,
if
he'd said, on the one hand, my moral and political conscience impels me as I speak to this large a crowd to acknowledge the atrocities happening in Gaza right now with the complete funding of our government. On the other hand, the Holocaust happened, and sometimes sometimes there are reasons for things that are beyond our comprehension.
Yeah, there are some cases in which certain lives are actually worth less than other lives. And
I could be
think-
wrong.
I could be wrong, but it's important for us to say both sides of the issue.
I mean, that's it. Sorry, I interrupted you reading that, but I had to, like, that point about, like, his political opinions and one-sided. I was like, he's literally talking about atrocities. One side, the other side of atrocities being committed is there are no atrocities being committed. The other side of there's a genocide happening is genocide denialism. Like, you're going to put yourself in a statement and say that. That's what, the dean
and
just
genocide
did.
denialism is giving them the benefit of the doubt. That's actually an optimistic view of what that means, because the other side of that is the one-sided political view is that genocide is bad. Like, have you considered that genocide good? Yeah, like that's an insane thing.
Or
So
at best, it's like, have you considered that something happened 20 months ago?
Right. Right.
Something bad also happened
Right.
20 months ago.
Yes. The other
Also, and
the
that's
other
why I
side.
refuse to believe that the comms department was involved in putting that together, because I feel like anyone worth a lick of, like, having a career in comms would have been like, okay, maybe don't say one-sided when he's, like, very explicit in what he's talking about, but just be like his political opinions. Like, if anything, right? But to say one-sided, I'm like, oh
I know.
my God, you put it in writing.
Talk about, like, showing your fucking hand. And it continues. He lied about the speech he was going to deliver, which is now, of course, the main, like, Hasbara line regarding what's going to happen.
This was not pre-approved content.
Yes.
This was not pre-approved free speech.
Yeah, exactly.
This was not pre-approved critical thinking.
You said you were going to go up there and say, we're all at crossroads in our lives, and we got a graduation, and then you were going to sing the song Graduation by Vitamin C. As we go on.
You stated explicitly that your speech would aver that our generation may just be the fulcrum that might turn the tide of history, and at the same time not provide any concrete examples about what in the current moment might need to be turned tide-wise.
What
Honestly,
might need to be changed.
And the dean just should have said, have you considered our donors?
Yeah, right.
Have
Straight
you
up.
considered our donors?
Yes, because they certainly have with this statement and with this action that they took. He lied about the speech he was going to deliver and violated the commitment he made to comply with our rules. The university is withholding his diploma while we pursue disciplinary actions. NYU is deeply sorry that the audience was subjected to these remarks and that this moment was stolen by someone who abused a privilege that was conferred upon him. This is an insane thing. They are literally withholding his diploma. You know,
Also,
that thing that he earned?
It's not a privilege to speak at graduate. It's an honor.
Yes.
And it's an
He
honor
paid
that
for
is,
it.
it's
He paid
his
for it. He went
do
to
with.
student debt for it.
Yes.
He went to student debt for it. What are we talking about? It's a privilege.
Yeah. Absolutely. And the reason this honor was bestowed upon him by, whomever picks the speakers, the commencement speakers, is probably because this person is known for having something to say and was trusted to be smart enough to deliver a speech of this importance. So the idea that it's like, oh, you abused the privilege by we thought you were going to go up there and if you wanted him to go up there and just say like, hey, we're all in it together, new generation, fucking maybe don't pick smart people and educate them, like, you know what I mean? Like you are asking for people to not learn, which is such an insane thing for a university to do.
Can I also just say, like, I really, really loved that he did this and what he said. Like, first of all, he didn't use vague terms. He was very explicit in his language.
Yes.
I love how, I think too often as well, too many people with all the right intentions, we end up making the United States kind of like a bystander or like a passive partner in this genocide, as opposed to the overseer, the funder, the permission
100%.
giver. And I love how he was like, no, we are doing this. We are culpable. And how as the jeering also started, he gets stronger and stronger in what he's saying. And what made me so happy is like, first of all, I'm looking at this kid who I'm like, what do you mean he's graduating from college? That's a baby right there. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
But it's also
We're
like
old now,
after
Sana.
stop it. Do you see this? No, there's no Botox in this face. No.
You're younger than I significantly, but we're
Am I?
we're old now.
I guess
That just turned 40.
True.
I'm 40.
What? Because I'm not significantly younger. I'm 37, babes. I'm turning 38.
That's
so I'm not
significantly younger.
But no, my point is that
I'm turning 50 this year, so both of you need to get off my
Wait,
lawn.
what?
I know, but
Stop it.
you have good skin.
What?
It doesn't matter
Wait,
if you have
I'm
good
sorry,
skin.
what?
I know, isn't that crazy?
50? That's
Yeah.
insane. Mashallah. Mashallah. Like, what?
He looks
crazy.
so good.
You look
I
really
always
good.
think Arabs are saying martial law when they say that.
I mean, martial
how
law.
how do you
also.
know they're not? They like the Sharia law. Tell me where I'm wrong. Convince me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong.
We do love
Martial
Sharia law.
law.
Anyways, no, what I was saying was, so here, I think what's also really incredible is that after 20 months of like all types of violence being used against especially student protesters, right? Whether it's like, knocking their skulls, violently ripping apart their encampments, pursuing all types of legal action. I mean, we have students who've been abducted also by ICE who were rotting in detention. We've had 2 of them, of course, released. We've had a couple already self-deport. Like, there's been such a concerted effort by every level of society, whether it's the universities themselves, whether it's corporate America. I mean, we remember those articles in late 2023 where it's like, don't hire my law students. Like, like all these people coming out and being like, don't hire these pro-Palestine kids, etc. They have been hit by, including the federal government, and that this kid, Logan, went up on stage knowing what the possible ramifications of it could be, right? He knew what he was risking when he went up there, and he still did it. I think it points so incredibly to like, there is no turning back.
Yes.
For this generation and all the generations to come. They are not going to stop because this is their moral. This is the thing that actually brings a lot of young kids right now into their moral being. This is it. It's going to be
100%.
like the evil that they understand. What they understand to be evil is Israel. What they understand. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, there are fewer and fewer of them that you can lean on by saying, "Oh, you're going to ruin your chance at a future in this system." What future?
Right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, they're sufficiently disenchanted, disabused of the notion that the society is making any kind of place for them to thrive if they play by the rules. There's less
Right.
and less assurance of that.
Yeah.
Right.
And the hypocrisy and corruptness of the Western liberal order and Western liberal values, as Omar El-Akkad writes about in his book, One Day Everyone Will Have Been Against This, which I'm reading now. It's sort of a chronicle of the end of a myth. And young people, more and more of them, just know this implicitly. So you don't have that cudgel to beat them with.
And these kids, right, the ones who graduated last year, the ones who are graduating this year, the ones who've been going through college, these are kids who were born, for a lot of them, if I'm not mistaken, right, their first president was Obama. Right, so they're coming into that era. They were coming into a financial crisis. They lived through Occupy Wall Street. I mean, they're babies, but still, like, that is a political context, right? They saw the
Their
BLM
first words
movement,
were
George
crushing
Floyd.
disappointment.
Crushing disappointment.
Exactly.
They've
Baby's
seen.
first words.
They've grown up in such a particular political context of like even the way we talk, also the access of information that they have, the way they have the ability to connect with people anywhere in the world. Right? When I was a kid, learning about Palestine, you had to open up an encyclopedia and maybe listen to what like your teacher had to say, which was all like Zionist propaganda anyways. Like that is how you were learning. Unless you knew Palestinians, unless you actually knew Palestinians, you were not learning about Palestine or like I said, when I grew up in a Muslim household, of course, like all you really know about Palestine is the Israelis are occupying it and we got to free it. You know what I mean? And Jerusalem, we got to liberate it. That's all you know. You're like, bam, I'm down with that. I don't know what it's all about, but I'm down with that. So these kids are growing up in a very particular political and social context where this is only like going to continue to inform how they live in this country. And exactly as you said, like they see what future, right? They're also increasingly seeing like how fascistic this country is becoming day by day by day, not just since January 20th, since before then as well. They see it very clearly. And so, yeah, they're going to keep talking about it. And I love that he did this. And you know what, like screw NYU for their actions against him. But that's to be expected. These universities, like, that's what they're going to do. They're not going to support this.
These kids, and correct me if I'm wrong here, Sana, but these kids are saying Yanni future, right?
Yeah.
Yanni future.
What is it? What is it?
Am I using that term?
What's
correctly?
Yanni mean? Is it
Well,
like
it's an all-purpose. It's an all-purpose word in Arabic that means well or I mean, but it's often used to imply a kind of like rightness.
Oh, okay, interesting.
As if it's the Wayne's World as if.
Oh, excuse me. The Clueless I guess Wayne's World came
Wayne's
first.
World precedes Clueless.
That's right. Just to continue on the actions that were taken by NYU to punish Logan. This also includes erasing Logan Rozos from the website. NYU deleted a page highlighting Logan Rozos from its website last night at approximately 8:30 p.m. The pages for the other 8 highlighted students, including 25 graduates, are still live.
They disappeared a graduating student.
They disappear. Yes, they are digitally disappearing.
Wait,
yes.
I'm sorry. When you pulled that up, I didn't realize what his double major was. I'm sorry, cultural criticism and political economy.
Beautiful.
This couldn't get any better. I had no idea what he had. What
He
he was
didn't
studying,
even go
so
outside of his lane.
Yes, he did exactly what he was
lane.
trained to do. The idea that like you'd be like, oh well, I didn't know you were going to get all political with it. What is this majors? Cultural criticism and political economy. The idea that you would expect this person to not speak about politics. Fucking
Also,
insane.
like I assume that Logan, and this is my assumption, right, based on his very strong, poignant words, that he wasn't just like walking by the protest. Like he wasn't just like, oh, cool, that's happening. Like I feel like he was probably involved in. He had said something before, unless he was really like, I'm playing the long game here. Unless he's like really playing the long game.
I'm gonna wait until I get to do a commencement speech.
Look, everyone knows that cultural criticism, the only valid cultural criticism, is writing think pieces about how Marvel movies are taking a strong stand against Vladimir Putin.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Wait, I'm sorry. Did someone actually write
culture.
that? Did anyone actually write that?
Of course, I'm sure there's a look up Thanos Putin, and I'm sure you'll find something.
I'm sure it exists. But yeah, it's crazy. And then also the BBC reported on this. I'm just going to read a little. A since deleted profile of Mr. Rozos on NYU's website indicated he's studied cultural criticism and political economy at a small liberal arts school within the campus. In another online profile, Mr. Rozos is described as an actor, artist, and gay black trans man. NYU is one of 10 universities being investigated by Trump's anti-Semitism task force for incidents on campus since the Israel-Gaza war began in October 2023. NYU was not, however, among 60 universities that were sent letters by the Department of Education warning of, quote, enforcement action if it did not protect its Jewish students. The U.S. president's son, Barron, is a student at NYU enrolled at the Stern School of Business.
I love that name of business.
Oh, you're
Stern School
you're
of
muted,
Business.
Daniel. Somehow you got muted.
I love the because I wanted to mute myself while I clickety-clacked looking for Putin Thanos.
Yeah.
I didn't find anything, but except
It's
some
there.
memes. There are some memes.
Sure.
I love the Stern School of Business. They teach you how to talk
Sternly. Yeah. No,
the grumpy school of accounting.
I'm more of the sort of like cash school of business. Just kind of like, I don't know, man. We got a little overhead, but we're pretty much in the black. Barron Trump famously called an, quote, oddity by the head of the college Republicans. Was he? Was he called an oddity? Oh, I mean, he is 6'8".
That's insane, by the way. Like, what does
crazy?
that like?
I don't know.
What did they feed him? Like, what is going on? 6'8".
They got
like, how
something.
tall is Trump? Trump is like
He's
what?
like 6'4", 6'3", or something.
Oh, really?
But
Yeah.
as Yenta the matchmaker said in Fiddler on the Roof, but only side to side.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because he's fat. But yeah,
6'8" is nuts.
the amount of big mad energy and the amount of obviously the amount of pressure on these universities by the Trump administration is obviously a potent factor in this kind of statement that NYU gave out, but also that statement in and of itself I think is proof of a pretty baked in political bias, especially when you consider the one-sided nature of genocide. But everyone is big mad about it. Shai Davidai also mad, and I want to read this.
People have been big mad that you don't play his bumper whenever we mention him sometimes.
Can I also just say, sorry to interrupt, but I have to say, I was one of like the first, well, maybe not the one, but I was definitely one of the first people that man blocked on there.
Really?
Because
Congrats.
do you guys remember his thanks, I know. But like it makes getting laid off all the more worth it.
Yeah.
Do you remember when he kind of got famous by posting this thread about being a Jewish father to Jewish kids?
Oh no, I don't think I remember
This is kind of like where he really first got on everyone's radar on Twitter, like where he had this whole thread about like, I'm so afraid of my kids, for my kids, et cetera, et cetera.
So
all these
afraid of
students
my
are
I'm afraid of my kids.
afraid for my kids, like all these like terrorist sympathizers on campus. And all I did was I just quote tweeted him and I said, I'm sorry, I just saw a Palestinian man hold his children the remains of his children in plastic bags, and you're talking about being scared for your kids on a campus because they're kids who are protesting that. Bam, immediately blocked. Blocked.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is
He's
like
not shy with the blocks.
He's not. Yeah, he might be shy, but he's not shy with them blocks. But yes, we are talking about Shai Davidai. Fuck. That was the wrong one. God damn it. It's in. I
was like, did we just get hacked by Beitar? I was about to like.
Oh, here it is. I got it. Yeah.
Davidai.
Yes.
No, don't give him that song.
I won't. I won't give it to him. But
he's so shy. That's an even better song.
So he wrote this, and this is like, I mean, it's so every accusation is a confession. We know this. And here's another one. The at NYU student who wasted his commencement speech for performative activism is not a hero. He is a privileged, pampered, petulant child who wants more attention. This is not how adults behave. Grow up.
Can you show us how adults behave?
Yes, this is how adults behave. Here's how they behave. Yes, that right there, not the acts of a petulant child, the acts of an adult. That's what adults do. They stomp their little tootsies.
Stamp their feet, yeah.
Yeah, they go, no, I'm a grown up. And the idea is like, it was performative. Everything you do is a performance, Shai. You're nothing but a performance artist for genocide. And that's your lane. You've chosen it. Everything you have done. And the idea that, there's this whole like, not a hero, not brave narrative of doing it for clout, doing it, to be, get a pat on the back, doing something that, the real brave thing to do is to be pro-Israel in public. This whole narrative is so ridiculous considering watching the actual footage. You watch this person nervous about what's happening, what he's about to say. He starts getting booed for it, and he still is going to, make his point. He's still going to say it. You see the amount of blowback that they receive. I mean, students are getting deported. He's not getting his fucking diploma that he earned. He is going to be in a world of shit for this. And so this whole narrative of like, oh, you think you're so brave? That's not brave. What's brave is being pro-Israel. Fuck off.
Matt, as a black, gay, trans young student, he had privilege to burn.
Absolutely. He had nothing but privilege. Just one of the most privileged identities out there. Thank you so much for watching that. Please like and subscribe, and please support us. Patreon.com/badhasbara or go to badhasbara.com.